Hi, I'm Emma Blount. Thank you for joining me for this fun and simply taught lesson in copper foil stained glass. I did this. It was difficult, exciting, and it was unveiled by Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall. You're going to do this.
It was loads of fun. It was definitely easier than I thought it would be.
This is everything you will need to make your copper foil light catcher. It's all listed in the accompanying attachment, along with websites where you can buy each item. Keep your plasters handy for small cuts that are very common but don't hurt at all. First, you cut the glass with a glass cutter. You scratch the glass from one very edge of it to the other very edge of the glass in one stroke. That's excellent. And it must make a nice scratchy noise. For 20 years. So you start here at the bottom, you go like that, and then you hold it. You put your thumb, thumb at the put your thumb this side, the other thumb that side of the scratch, and not up here but down here, and then you just break it like that. So you go like that. So you don't go like that. You go like that. Yeah. Okay. A straight edge is very handy indeed. Now you practice cutting the glass till you're really comfortable with it. You can of course cut a curved line in glass, but for your first piece we're doing straight edges only. If you break the glass and the line isn't straight and there are bits of glass sticking out, you can grind them off with a grinder, or you can remove them using grozing pliers. The flat edge must be along the top and the curved edge along the bottom, and you grab hold of the knobbly bit of the glass and you break it off. That's grozing, and that's how you level off bits of glass. If the edge isn't straight, you nibble it off with your grozing pliers. Another use for the grozing pliers is to help break the glass. That's a straight edge of the plier, grozing pliers. So you put that on.
The line is there.
Where's the line? Oh yeah, so you put that on the beginning of the line here. So the line's there. You put that on the beginning of the line, and you put your thumb there. Always remember the flat side of the grozing pliers goes on top. But never do this. Going over and over the same scratch more than once. You can only make the scratch once. Another thing that can help in cutting the glass, usually with a curved line, is to use the knob on the end of the glass cutter to tap the glass. You tap it from the underneath, the other side of the glass, from the scratch that you've just made. Now the best bit, choosing the colours of glass for your piece of work. If you look at the colour wheel, a good tip is to use complementary colours, which means the opposite colours in the colour wheel to each other. So yellow is a complementary colour to purple, and red is a complementary colour to green, and orange is a complementary colour to blue. So if you put those complementary colours next to each other, they really bring out the best and make those colours pop. The light, it's up to your taste.
Yeah.
But that pink's beautiful next to this plain blue.
Yeah. It's not plain, it's actually bubbly. I like because I like the bubbly blue.
This pink is made out of gold.
Yeah.
That's how you make pink, out of gold.
It's like kind of fire.
Gold oxide.
With the like
it's
the
hand
flakes.
blown at English Antique Glass near Birmingham.
This one is bubbly, represent the Holy Spirit.
That's
bubble.
Seeded. Yeah, represent. Now you cut your chosen glass out using the provided simple template. Well done, Diana, that's fantastic. In copper foil, all the edges of the glass must be touching snugly with no gaps.
Thanks to her amazing teaching.
Of course.
Now you're ready to stick the copper foil tape onto the edges of each piece of glass. You peel off the backing from the copper foil and you place the edge of the glass along the central line of the sticky side of the copper foil, and you keep placing that right round the edge of each piece of glass. Then you fold the copper foil round the edge of the glass and stick it down really well so there's a little bit of copper foil showing top and bottom. Now get your soldering iron plugged in and heated up, because you're going to solder a bead of solder along the edges of the copper foil strips. It's advisable for a beginner to wear gloves when they're handling a soldering iron, because when you're concentrating on your work, you forget that this bit's hot here, and you tend to put your finger on there as you're trying to control the thing, and that way you'll get a nasty burn. If you've got gloves, that just stops that happening. Also, you mustn't breathe in the fumes from the solder because they contain lead, which is dangerous, so you should wear a dust mask as you're soldering. Clean the tip off with a sponge so that it looks silvery. So dab a bit of flux on the 4 strategic places where you're going to put a bit of solder, a blob of solder, to hold the whole piece together before you start. And you melt the solder with one blob on there. So that's just held in place. Then you get more flux on your paintbrush and you wipe the flux along the copper foil where you're going to all the places that you're going to put your solder. Do you notice that I am just touching the underneath of the soldering iron with the solder, and it's running down the soldering iron and coming out in a nice smooth bead? Now the piece will be hot, having just had the solder, so you pick it up with a glove and you do the edges. You wipe it along the edge. And you turn it over and solder the other side. So again, apply your flux and solder the other side. If the solder gets onto the glass, you can just scrape it off. Your beautiful light catcher is nearly finished. All that's left to do is to attach the loops from which you're going to hang it in the window and make the solder black if that's what you want. Cut approximately 8 centimeters off your copper wire, bend it into the loop shape and solder it onto your piece. Now clean off the flux by rubbing it with kitchen roll. And there you have it. You have made your very own copper foil light catcher. And may I say what a fantastic job you've done. How was your first lesson in stained glass?
It was awesome. It was amazing. I really enjoyed this. So creative and therapeutic and such a fun.
But yeah, it was loads of creativity. I got to make a mess, which I like doing. It was really relaxing as well, so anyone can do it and it's loads of fun.
Amazing teacher. Thank you, Emma.
Oh, that's a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.